The impossible signal. The alarm screamed through the Galactic Council's command center like a wounded animal. Admiral Zixtar dropped his datapad. His four eyes widened in shock. Something was wrong. Very wrong. Report, he shouted, his voice echoing across the massive control room. Lieutenant Vexra's claws trembled as she checked her screen. Sir, we have an unknown object entering our space. It came from Sector 7. The entire room went silent. Officers stopped working. Some whispered prayers in their native languages. Others just stared. Sector 7, the forbidden zone, the dark corner of space where nothing lived, where nothing could live. That's impossible, Zixtar whispered. Nothing enters or leaves Sector 7. Nothing has moved there for 300 years. But the screen didn't lie. A massive shape was moving through space. It was huge, 3 kilometers long, maybe more. And it was moving fast, faster than any ship should move. Get me a visual, Zixtar ordered. The main screen flickered to life. What they saw made their blood run cold. The ship was like nothing they had ever seen. Its hull was dark, almost black. Strange metal covered its surface. Battle scars ran along its sides like old wounds. Parts of it looked damaged, yet it still moved with terrifying purpose. What is that thing? Someone whispered. Run a scan. Tell me what we're dealing with, Zixtar said, trying to keep his voice steady. The computers worked. Numbers and data flashed across screens. Then the results came back. Vexra's voice shook. So the energy readings, they don't match anything in our database. The hull material is unknown. The weapon systems, I've never seen technology like this. Where did it come from? Zixtar demanded. Deep inside Sector 7, sir. From the darkest region. It just appeared. Zixtar's mind raced. He pressed a button on his command chair. Emergency signal to all council members. Get them here now. Within minutes, the council chamber filled with representatives from 12 different alien races. The Krill ambassador arrived first, his tall frame shaking with worry. The Torvan leader came next, her scales turning pale with fear. Why have you called us? The Krill ambassador demanded. What emergency justifies? Look at the screen, Zixtar interrupted. Every eye in the room focused on the image of the mysterious ship. The room erupted in panic. Representatives shouted in different languages. Some tried to leave. Others demanded answers. Silence! Zixtar roared. We need to stay calm. The Torvan leader stepped forward, her voice barely a whisper. Could it be them? Everyone knew who she meant. The word hung in the air, unspoken but understood. Humans. That's impossible, another representative said. The humans are dead. We made sure of it. Zixtar pulled up an old file on the screen. Ancient data, classified information from 300 years ago. 3 centuries ago, he began, we discovered a species called humans. They were young, primitive, but they were dangerous. Images flashed on the screen. A blue planet called Earth. Cities filled with these strange creatures. They walked on 2 legs. They had no claws, no natural armor, no special abilities. They were too aggressive, Zixtar continued. Too unpredictable. They fought wars among themselves constantly. They created weapons that could destroy their own planet. They were a threat to galactic peace. The Krill ambassador nodded slowly. So the council made a decision. We sent a fleet, another voice added quietly. A full battle fleet. We destroyed their home system, their sun, their planets, everything. We killed them all, someone whispered. 5 billion of them. No one could have survived that attack, the Torvan leader said. We made certain. We checked. Their entire solar system was turned to dust. But now, looking at that dark ship on the screen, doubt crept into every mind. Run a full spectrum analysis, Zixtar ordered. Check for any biological signatures, any signs of who or what is on that ship. The computers worked again. Everyone waited. The silence was suffocating. Then the results appeared. Vexra's voice cracked with fear. Sir, I'm detecting biological life signs, carbon-based, 2 arms, 2 legs, internal skeleton, warm-blooded. The exact profile of human. Zixtar finished for her. The word hit like a bomb. Impossible, unthinkable, terrifying. The mysterious ship suddenly stopped moving. It sat at the edge of council space, silent and dark, waiting. Then every screen in the command center flickered. An incoming message. broadcasting on all frequencies, in multiple languages. Some they recognized, others they didn't. The message was simple, direct, and absolutely terrifying. This is UHSF Vengeance, United Human Space Force. We've been gone a long time. We've been building, we've been preparing. Now we've come home. Admiral Zixtar collapsed into his chair. His worst nightmare was real. Humans were still alive, and they had just declared their return. The ghost ship awakens. The council chamber felt like a tomb. Nobody spoke. Nobody moved. All eyes remained fixed on the dark ship floating at the edge of their space. Admiral Zixtar finally broke the silence. We need to make contact. We need to understand what they want. What they want? The Krill ambassador's voice rose in panic. They want revenge. We destroyed their entire civilization. We don't know that, the Torvan leader said quietly. Maybe they want to talk. Maybe they want peace. Peace? Another council member laughed bitterly. Would you want peace if someone destroyed your homeworld? Zixtar raised his hand. Enough. Fighting among ourselves won't help. We send a diplomatic ship. We try to negotiate. And if they attack? Someone asked. Then we learn what we're dealing with, Zixtar replied. 20 minutes later, a small diplomatic vessel left the council station. Ambassador Voltrix sat in the command chair, his hands sweating despite the cold air. He was chosen because he voted against the human genocide 300 years ago. Maybe that would matter. Maybe they knew. As his ship approached the Vengeance, Voltrix got his first close look at the human vessel. It was enormous. Battle damage covered the hull. Burn marks, impact craters. This ship had seen war. Real war. But what frightened him most was the silence. No power readings. No weapons charging. The ship just floated there like a dead thing. Like a ghost. UHSF Vengeance, this is Ambassador Voltrix of the Galactic Council. We come in peace. We wish to negotiate. We wish to understand. Nothing. Only silence. Voltrix tried again. Please respond. We mean you no harm. Then every light on the Vengeance suddenly blazed to life. The dark hull illuminated. Weapon ports opened across its surface like awakening eyes. The ship wasn't dead. It was just sleeping. A voice crackled through the speakers. Cold, mechanical, human. Ambassador Voltrix, you voted against our extinction. We remember. But one vote doesn't erase 5 billion deaths. The main screen flickered. A face appeared. Human, female, but something was wrong. Half her face was covered in metal. Cybernetic implants ran along her skull. One eye was mechanical, glowing with blue light. She looked more machine than human. I am Captain Sarah Chen of the UHSF Vengeance, she said. Her human eye showed no emotion. For 300 years we've waited for this moment. Voltrix's voice trembled. Captain Chen, please understand. What happened to your people was wrong. It was a terrible mistake. Mistake? Chen's voice cut like a knife. You sent warships. You destroyed our sun. You killed our children. That wasn't a mistake. That was genocide, I know. I voted against it. Many of us did. But not enough, Chen replied. Not enough to save us. Voltrix saw movement behind Chen on the screen. Other humans. All of them had cybernetic parts. Metal arms. Enhanced eyes. They had changed themselves. Modified their bodies. What happened to you? Voltrix whispered. What did you become? We became what we needed to be, Chen answered. When you destroyed our world, a few thousand humans escaped. We ran to Sector 7, we hid in the darkness. And we survived, she leaned forward. Do you know what it's like to live in space for 300 years? No planets, no sunlight, no home. We lived on ships. We were born on ships. We died on ships. I'm sorry, Voltrix said. Truly sorry. Sorry doesn't bring back the dead, Ambassador. Suddenly alarms blared in Voltrix's ship. His tactical officer shouted, Sir, 3 council warships just entered the area. They're powering weapons. What? No! Voltrix screamed into his communicator. Admiral Zixtar, call them back. We're negotiating. But Zixtar's voice was grim. I didn't send them, Voltrix. The extremist faction did. They're not listening to my orders. The 3 council warships moved into attack position around the Vengeance. Their weapon systems glowed with deadly energy. Human vessel, power down immediately or we will fire, the lead warship commanded. Captain Chen didn't look worried. She didn't even move. You're making a mistake. Final warning. Very well, Chen said calmly. Let me show you what 300 years of darkness taught us. The Vengeance didn't power up weapons. It didn't need to. Instead, panels opened along its hull. Thousands of small objects launched into space. They looked like tiny drones, each no bigger than a human hand. The Council warships opened fire, their weapons blazing. But the small drones moved impossibly fast. They dodged every shot. They swarmed the warships like angry insects. Within seconds, the drones attached themselves to the Council ships. Blue lightning crackled across the hulls. Electrical systems sparked and died. Weapons went offline. Engines shut down. The three mighty warships were now floating dead in space, disabled, helpless. And the Vengeance hadn't even fired a single shot. Voltrix stared in horror. "How did you—" "Electromagnetic pulse drones," Chen explained. "Simple technology, nothing fancy, but very effective. We could have destroyed those ships. We could have killed everyone aboard, but we didn't." Her mechanical eye fixed on the camera. "Remember that, Ambassador? We showed mercy. Will your council do the same?" Back at the council station, scientists frantically analyzed the attack. What they found terrified them. "The technology is decades ahead of ours," one scientist reported. "Maybe centuries ahead. Their material science, their engineering, their computer systems. They're beyond anything we have." Zixtar felt sick. They didn't just survive. They advanced. "Sir!" Lieutenant Vexra called out. Her voice shook with pure terror. "Long-range scanners are picking up new signals. From deep in Sector 7. "What kind of signals?" "Ship signatures, sir. Lots of them." The main screen changed. It showed the dark expanse of Sector 7. And there, hiding in the shadows, were more shapes. Dozens of them. Hundreds of them. Ships, human ships, all waiting. "All watching, dear gods," someone whispered. "They didn't send one ship. They sent an entire fleet," Zixtar finished. "On the Vengeance," Captain Chen smiled coldly. "You see them now, don't you? 300 years we spent building, planning, waiting. Did you really think we came alone?" Voltrix's voice was barely audible. "What do you want from us?" Chen's expression hardened. "What do we want? We want the same thing you took from us. We want justice." The screen went dark. The transmission ended. In the silence that followed, Admiral Zixtar realized the terrible truth. The Galactic Council had created something far worse than an enemy. They had created survivors with nothing left to lose and centuries of rage to fuel them. The price of genocide. The emergency council session lasted 12 hours. 12 hours of arguing, shouting, and fear. The chamber was filled with representatives from all 12 alien races. None of them could agree on what to do. "We should attack now," shouted the Krill ambassador, slamming his fist on the table. "Before their full fleet arrives. Strike first." "With what?" The Torvan leader snapped back. "You saw what happened to our warships. They disabled 3 vessels in seconds without firing a single weapon. How do we fight that?" "She's right," another representative added. "Our weapons are useless against them. They're too advanced." "Then we surrender," someone suggested weakly. "Surrender?" The Krill ambassador turned red with rage. "We are the Galactic Council. We don't surrender to anyone." Admiral Zixtar stood up slowly. His voice was tired but firm. "We don't surrender. But we also don't attack. We need to understand what they want." "What they want is obvious," a voice said from the back. "They want us dead. Just like we wanted them dead." The room went silent. The truth hurt. "Maybe not," Zixtar continued. "If they wanted us dead, we'd be dead already. They have the weapons. They have the advantage." But Captain Chen showed mercy. "She disabled our ships instead of destroying them. That means something. Or it means she's playing with us," the Krill ambassador growled. "Like a cat plays with a mouse before killing it." Before anyone could respond, every screen in the chamber activated. Captain Chen's face appeared on all of them simultaneously. She had hacked into their systems. Just like that. No warning. No permission. "Members of the Galactic Council," Chen began. Her voice was cold and clear. "I know you're debating what to do about us. So let me make this simple. Let me show you exactly what you did." The screens changed. Footage began to play. Old footage. 300 years old. It showed Earth. Beautiful. Blue oceans. Green continents. White clouds. Cities filled with lights. Billions of people going about their lives. Children playing. Families laughing. Then the Council fleet arrived. The footage showed everything. Council warships surrounding Earth's solar system. Giant weapons charging. And then, fire. Terrible, unstoppable fire. The council representatives watched in horror as their ancestors destroyed an entire civilization. They saw Earth's moon explode first, then Mars, then the space stations. Finally, they attacked Earth itself. The footage showed cities burning, people running, screaming, dying, children crying for parents who would never come, parents holding babies who would never grow up. 5 billion souls, Chen's voice narrated over the images. That's how many humans you killed. 5 billion. Not soldiers, not warriors, families, teachers, artists, children, babies who hadn't even learned to walk yet. Some council members looked away. Others covered their eyes. But Chen wouldn't let them escape. No, her voice commanded. You will watch. You will see what you did. What your fathers and mothers and leaders ordered. You don't get to look away from this. The footage continued. It showed the final moments. Earth's atmosphere burning away. The oceans boiling. The planet cracking apart as the sun went supernova. Then it showed the survivors. A few thousand humans on distant mining stations and exploration ships, watching their home die, watching everything they loved turn to ash. The footage ended. The screen showed Chen's face again, but now tears ran down her human cheek. The cybernetic side of her face showed nothing, but her human side wept. You didn't just kill people, Chen said quietly. You killed our entire history, our art, our music, our books, every photo, every memory, every grave where our ancestors rested, gone, all of it, forever. The council chamber was absolutely silent. Some representatives were crying now, others sat frozen in shock. So here is what I want, Chen continued. Her voice hardened again. Justice. I want every council leader who gave the order for our genocide to stand trial. I want them judged for their crimes. I want the galaxy to know what they did. And if we refuse, Admiral Zixtar asked, though his voice shook. Then we remind you what happens when you create survivors with nothing left to lose, Chen replied. We didn't spend 300 years building weapons just for show. The transmission ended. The screens went dark. The Krill ambassador broke the silence. This is blackmail, terrorism. No, the Torvan leader said softly. This is justice. And she's right. We committed genocide. We murdered an entire species. We deserve to be judged. But those leaders are long dead, someone pointed out. They died centuries ago. Then their children must answer. Chen's voice suddenly spoke from the speakers. She was still listening, still watching. The current council continued the lie. You covered it up. You never told your people what you did. That makes you guilty too. Admiral Zixtar stood up. His voice was heavy with shame. She's right. I knew about Earth. I read the classified files. I knew what the old council did, and I said nothing. I'm guilty too. We all are, another representative admitted. We all knew, or suspected, and we did nothing. We can't put ourselves on trial, the Krill ambassador protested. It would destroy the council. It would cause chaos across the galaxy. Then maybe the council deserves to be destroyed. A young voice spoke up. Everyone turned. Junior Officer Kiris stood at the back of the chamber. She was young for a council officer, only 30 cycles old. Her scales were bright green, showing her youth. Who gave you permission to speak? The Krill ambassador demanded. No one, Kiris replied. But someone needs to say this. I wasn't born when Earth died. Neither were most of the people in this room. But we inherited the crime, and we kept the secret. That makes us guilty. She walked forward, her voice growing stronger. I joined the council because I believed we stood for peace, for justice, for protecting the innocent, but we don't. We're hypocrites. We murdered 5 billion innocent people and then pretended it never happened. Enough. The Krill ambassador shouted. No, Zixtar said firmly. Let her speak, Kiris continued. Captain Chen is right. We need to face what we did. We need to accept responsibility. Otherwise, we're no better than the monsters who destroyed Earth. That night, while the council debated, Kiris made a decision. She accessed the classified files. All of them. Every document. Every order. Every communication about Earth's destruction. She copied everything to a data chip. Then she did something that could get her executed. She contacted the Vengeance. Captain Chen. She transmitted on a secure channel. This is Junior Officer Kiris of the Galactic Council. I'm sending you classified files. Proof of everything. The orders. The deliberations. The cover-up. All of it. On the Vengeance, Captain Chen received the transmission. She looked at the data. Her human eye widened. Her cybernetic eye glowed brighter. "Why are you doing this?" Chen asked. "Why betray your own people?" Kiris's voice was steady. "Because they're not my people if they commit genocide and lie about it. Because truth matters. Because you deserve to know everything. And because not all of us agreed with what they did to you." Chen was silent for a long moment. Then she spoke softly. "Thank you, Kiris. You may have just saved millions of lives." "What do you mean?" Chen looked at her crew. Other humans gathered around her. They were arguing, shouting. Some wanted revenge. Total revenge. They wanted to destroy the Council like the Council destroyed Earth. "My people are angry," Chen explained. "Many of them want blood. They want to burn Council worlds the way our world burned. But I promised them a trial. Justice, not revenge. These files you sent, they'll help prove our case. They'll show the galaxy what really happened." She paused. "But Kiris, you need to understand something. We're not the heroes here. We're not the good guys. We're survivors who've spent 300 years in darkness. We've changed. We've become harder, colder. Some of us have lost our humanity. But not all of you," Kiris said quietly. "You could have destroyed the Council fleet when you arrived. You didn't. That means something." Chen smiled sadly. "Maybe, or maybe we're just taking our time, enjoying watching you squirm." "I don't believe that," Kiris replied. "I think you're better than you pretend to be." The transmission ended. Chen turned to her crew. She looked at the faces of her people, humans who were born in space, who never saw a planet, who knew only war and survival. "We have a choice," she told them. "We can become the monsters they feared we would become, or we can prove we're better than that, better than them. They killed our families." Someone shouted. "I know," Chen said. "My grandmother died on Earth, my grandfather, my cousins, everyone I was supposed to know, gone. I understand your pain. I feel it too. Every day." She touched her cybernetic implants. "We've changed ourselves to survive. We've become part machine to live in space. But we can't let them take our humanity completely. That's the one thing they can't kill, unless we let them." Before anyone could respond, alarms blared throughout the ship. "Captain!" the tactical officer shouted. "Council extremist faction is launching a full attack. 20 warships incoming! They're not following official orders." Chen's face hardened. She turned to her crew. "Battle stations. Looks like someone just made our decision for us." On the main screen, 20 Council warships appeared. All weapons charged, all targeting the Vengeance. The extremist fleet commander broadcast a message. "Human monsters, you threaten the peace of the galaxy. You will be destroyed." They opened fire. Every weapon, every missile, everything they had. The attacks hit the Vengeance's hull. Explosions bloomed across its surface. Fire and energy tore at the dark metal, but when the smoke cleared, the Vengeance was still there. Its hull showed damage, but nothing critical. Nothing that would stop it. Captain Chen's voice was cold as ice. "You just made a terrible mistake." She turned to her crew. "Activate Protocol Omega." When monsters fight back, the words echoed through the Vengeance's bridge like a death sentence. "Protocol Omega activated." "Captain," the tactical officer confirmed, the human warship began to transform. Panels across its hull shifted and opened. But what emerged wasn't weapons, not the kind the Council expected. Admiral Zixtar watched from the Council station, his blood turning cold. "What is that ship doing?" On his screen, the Vengeance glowed with strange blue energy. The energy spread outward like ripples in water. "It moved slowly at first, then faster. Faster, sir!" Lieutenant Vexra screamed. "Energy wave incoming." "It's some kind of pulse." "Impact in 10 seconds. Shields up. All ships raise shields." But it was too late. The blue wave hit the Council fleet like an invisible hammer. Every ship shuddered. Lights flickered. Then, one by one, they went dark. "Sir, we've lost all power," Vexra reported in panic. "Main systems offline. Backup systems offline. Everything's dead." "How is that possible?" "It's an electromagnetic pulse, sir. But unlike anything we've ever seen, it's shutting down every electronic system in range." Across the battlefield, 20 Council warships floated dead in space. No lights, no power, no weapons. They were nothing more than metal coffins drifting in the void. The Council station itself flickered and died. Emergency lights barely illuminated the command center. Screens went black. Computers crashed. Only one ship still had power. The Vengeance glowed in the darkness like a predator's eyes. Captain Chen's voice broadcast across all frequencies. Every ship heard her, even with their systems dead. Somehow the humans could still communicate. 300 years ago, you destroyed our world with your advanced technology, Chen began. Her voice was calm, too calm. You thought your fancy weapons and your superior ships made you invincible. You were wrong. The Vengeance moved through the dead fleet like a shark circling wounded prey. It didn't fire. It didn't need to. When you forced us into the darkness of Sector 7, we had a choice, Chen continued. We could try to rebuild your kind of technology, or we could remember where we came from. Images appeared on the few working screens. They showed human ships, but inside, instead of sleek computers and holograms, there were mechanical controls, physical switches, analog systems. We went back to basics, Chen explained. Back to mechanical engineering. Back to systems that don't need computers to function. Back to human ingenuity, she paused. Your EMP shut down our fancy systems too, but we don't need them. Our ships run on mechanical backups, steam power, hydraulics, things your advanced technology forgot about centuries ago. Admiral Zixtar understood now. The humans had learned from their own history. When technology failed, mechanical systems still worked. Simple, reliable, unstoppable by electromagnetic pulses. It's genius, he whispered. Terrifying but genius. Chen's voice grew colder. So here's your choice, Council. Every ship in your fleet is dead. You're floating in space with no weapons, no engines, no life support. In a few hours, your air will run out. You'll suffocate in your own ships. The tactical officer on the Vengeance spoke up. Captain, long-range scans show additional Council forces in Sector 9. Should we engage? No, Chen replied. Let them watch. Let them see what happens when you attack survivors who have nothing left to lose. Back on the Council station, the Krill ambassador grabbed Admiral Zixtar's arm. Do something. Our fleet is dying out there. What can I do? Zixtar shouted back. We have no power, no weapons, no way to fight back. Then surrender. To what? They haven't even made a demand yet. As if hearing him, Chen's voice spoke again. I'm sure you're wondering what we want. What price we'll demand for your lives. The human captain stood up on her bridge. Behind her, a large view screen activated. It showed something that made every council member's heart stop. Sector 7, deep in the Forbidden Zone. And there, emerging from the darkness, were structures. Massive construction facilities, shipyards the size of moons, and weapons. Terrible weapons. One weapon looked like a giant ring kilometers wide. Another resembled a massive spike that seemed to pierce reality itself. A third pulsed with energy that looked like a captured star. For 300 years we've been building, Chen said. Not just ships, not just defenses. We've been building weapons that could crack planets. Weapons that could ignite stars. Weapons that could end civilizations. She let that sink in. We could use them, right now. We could destroy every council world the way you destroyed Earth. We have the power. We have the justification. We have the rage. Silence. Terrible silence. But we won't, Chen said finally. Those two words hung in the air like a lifeline. Why not? Someone whispered on the council station. Chen heard somehow. Because I made a promise to my people. I promised them justice, not revenge. I promised them we would be better than you. That we wouldn't become the monsters you feared. She stepped closer to the camera. But understand this. We're giving you one chance. Just one. Power down every weapon. Surrender for trial. Face what you did. Or, she gestured to the massive weapons in Sector 7. Or we show you what 3 centuries of survivors' rage looks like. Suddenly, a transmission cut through. It was Junior Officer Kira's. Captain Chen, don't attack, please. We're staging a coup. On the council station, Kiris and a group of younger officers had taken control of the command center. They held the extremist leaders at gunpoint. These commanders acted without authority, Kiris explained quickly. They attacked against direct orders. They're extremists, warmongers, but not all of us are like them. She turned to face the older council members. You extremists ordered the attack on the humans. You tried to restart a war. Well, I'm ending it. You're all under arrest. The Krill ambassador struggled against the guards holding him. You're committing treason. No, Kiris replied firmly. I'm preventing genocide. Again. Someone should have done this 300 years ago. She turned back to the screen. Captain Chen, I can't speak for the entire council, but I can speak for myself and these officers. We want peace. We want justice. We want to make this right. Admiral Zixtar stepped forward. She speaks for me too. I was wrong. We were all wrong. Not just about Earth, about everything. We became so powerful we forgot we could be wrong. He took a deep breath. I'll stand trial. I'll testify. I'll tell the galaxy what we did. Whatever punishment you demand, I'll accept. Other council members stepped forward, one by one, some reluctantly, some with tears in their eyes, but they stepped forward. We'll face justice, the Torvan leader said quietly. It's long overdue. Captain Chen watched this from her bridge. Her human eye showed surprise. Her cybernetic eye glowed steadily. You're really willing to stand trial? She asked. To face the consequences? We are, Zixtar confirmed. But please, Captain, restore power to our ships. People are dying out there. Innocent crew members who had nothing to do with the extremists' attack. Chen looked at her crew. They were watching her, waiting for her decision. Some looked angry. Others looked uncertain. Captain, her tactical officer said quietly, if we restore their power, they could attack again. I know, Chen replied. Then why would we risk it? Chen smiled sadly. Because that's what humans do. We take stupid risks for the right reasons. It's what got us killed the first time. Maybe it's what will save us this time. She turned to her crew. Deactivate Protocol Omega. Restore their systems. Captain, that's an order. The blue energy around the Vengeance faded. Across the battlefield, council ships began to flicker back to life. Lights returned. Systems rebooted. Life support activated. Admiral Zixtar stared at his screens in disbelief. She actually did it. She restored our power. Why? The Krill ambassador demanded. Why give us back our weapons? Zixtar understood. Because she's proving a point. She's showing us what humanity really is. He opened a channel to the Vengeance. Captain Chen, I must ask, why did you restore our power? We could attack again. Chen's response was simple. Because we didn't survive 300 years just to become like you. We survived to be better than you, but we don't deserve mercy. Not after what we did to Earth. Maybe not, Chen agreed. But mercy isn't about deserving. It's about choosing to be human even when it's hard. Even when it hurts. Even when revenge would feel better. She paused. My grandmother told me stories before Earth died. Stories about humanity's greatest heroes. They weren't the strongest warriors or the smartest scientists. They were people who chose kindness when cruelty was easier. Who chose hope when despair made more sense. Is that what you're choosing now? Zixtar asked. I'm trying to, Chen said. But don't mistake mercy for weakness. We're watching forever. And if you betray this chance, if you ever threaten another species the way you threatened us, we'll be back. And next time, we won't be merciful. Suddenly, every alarm in the galaxy seemed to scream at once. Lieutenant Vexra's voice cracked with terror. Sir, new contact. Unknown signature. It's massive. Bigger than anything we've ever seen. On every screen, something appeared at the edge of scanner range. It was enormous, organic, alive, and it was moving toward both the human and council fleets. What is that? Someone whispered. The creature, because it was clearly a creature, not a ship, was the size of a small moon. Its body pulsed with bioluminescent patterns, tentacles stretched for kilometers, and where it moved, space itself seemed to bend and twist. It attacked without warning. Energy beams shot from its body. They struck a council ship. The vessel didn't explode. It simply dissolved, turned to dust in seconds. Shields, Zixtar screamed. All ships, defensive positions. But another ship died. Then another. The creature moved through the fleet like a predator through a school of fish. Captain Chen's voice cut through the panic. Council fleet, form defensive pattern Alpha 7. Human vessels protect their flanks. Captain? Her tactical officer asked in confusion. We're helping them. We're all dead if we don't, Chen replied. That thing doesn't care who's human and who's not. It's attacking everyone. Admiral Zixtar couldn't believe what he was hearing. Captain Chen, you're protecting us? After everything? Talk later. Chen snapped. Fight now. All ships target the creature's central mass. Concentrate fire. For the first time in 300 years, human and council ships fought side by side. They formed a defensive wall, human kinetic weapons combined with council energy shields. The battle had just begun. And for the first time, the council and humanity had a common enemy. An enemy that made their war look like a children's argument.